that's almost halfway halfway through this hour here. And so therefore, my friend figured out, according to this, that on Tisha B'Av of this year, we will get to 12:30. What's the significance of this? 12 o'clock was significant in terms of historical events and in terms of the midrashim that speak about 12 o'clock noon in the Garden of Eden. And the parallels are very amazing. I bring them in one of my books called Technology and the Return to Eden, in which I go into this whole chart here, this cosmic clock, and the teachings that we have about our time. Anyway, 12 o'clock is when the trumpets blew in the mikdash to signal that nobody should do work from now on, or people should finish their work that they need to do, so that at 12:30, when the trumpets blew again the second time, nobody should do anything else except everything related to Shabbat. And the Gemara says in a few places, if you do work that's other related, then you will not see blessing in it. Everything has to be devoted from this moment on to Shabbat. So 12 o'clock of history, of the Friday of history, was 1990. 12:30 will be this year, when the second trumpets will blow. And I'm really not into dates for redemption. I think it's unnecessary to do that. I am a firm believer that consciousness is the key, is that our awakening to the reality of Hashem in our lives. And there are really real ways to do this. I have a few ideas on what to do about that tonight, how to what's behind that statement. So that's what I'm kind of building up to. But there really are ways to connect to the reality of Hashem in our lives, and that's what's going to determine when the Mashiach comes. So the Messianic light is here. The Messianic events are unfolding. It's not as if the Mashiach is going to come and all of a sudden things are going to change. He's going to show us that things have been changing under our noses like forever. Like, what's your problem? What were you waiting for? Didn't you see? The Gemara says it's like the sun rising up. Those who are there early and they see the sun rising, they say, the redemption is beginning. Everybody else will see it when it's up in the high, it's zenith in the sky. But those who are wise will begin to see it, the process already unfolding from an early point on. We'll be interested in seeing, what was that in the 60s? What happened there? And the 70s, and the Vietnam War, and all kinds of things that happened. I'm not saying we can understand the full picture yet, but we still can do a book report. That's why our first book report might be like childish. When you see a movie or you read a book, you should talk to your spouse or your friend about it as soon as possible after seeing the movie or reading the book. We did this a lot in my house with the kids. My kids read so many books. It was like, I could not believe what my wife and I had brought into the world. They went through books like 10 a week. It's not normal. And so I said to my daughter or my son, what was the book about? He didn't know how to answer. It was all too fast. I said, okay, I'm willing to hear. Read me some of it. And then what I try and get is, tell me more about it without looking in the book. And that helps our kids to abstract it out of the body of the book into mind, into thoughts. And when you do that, the sooner after reading the book, the better, because then you can tell 3 years or 4 years. Your memory is going to be much better. Everybody knows this, right? No. Don't give me blank faces. Everybody knows.
Better in 3-4 years.
And if you go to a Torah class and you share it with the person you're with when you leave the class, as soon after the class, it's a major qualitative difference, right? There's no question we're talking about. Our minds are like jelly otherwise. What did that mean? What?
It's like, I could miss all the stuff that these pearls.
Go to sleep.
No. That's what I'm saying. I just need to rest. I just got the best.
She sleeps through classes and she gets more of it that way. Anyway. So I'm meandering towards a point. Please hope, like, that it's... Hope that we can get there. I wanted to share with you... Is it okay up here?
Yeah, anything you need.
Yes. I have a drink here.
I'm sorry. I didn't even got there was drinks on the table. Would you be kind enough to just bring me in?
Oh, sure.
Anything else?
Water or salt?
For who? For Jody? Okay, good. So I just want to tell you that this amazing little an interlude here about what's going on in the Parshas. And then go back to what I'm talking about here, about the inner changes that are going to take place, and tie them together. Where is that? They always have to bring a lot of papers just in case I might need them. Like my whole library.
No, but what I'm saying is it's always like little gems you throw in. They have nothing to do with the learning, but it's like, it's like it's not the esoteric stuff. It's like the practices. Talk about it like after you've done it, and it really reinforces the experience. It's a way to like increase our memory. It was like when you showed us how to wash hands, like a whole Shabbat poem. And what stayed with me is how to wash hands, or how to bow.
Or how to make the chin on my forehead when I say Shema. I think of you every time I do that.
These are the gems that are you. These are the gems that are like...
Can you repeat that? The shin thing?
I would rather that Abraham do it when he's ready.
If you make a shin with your hands when you're coming around. Everybody can talk about that.
It's really better that the way they do it. It's good. Shin Dalet Yud, Hashem's name. Most people go like this when they say the Shema. The idea is definitely to close my eyes and cover my eyes. Why? Because in the Psukkah de Zimmer that preceded the Kriyat Shema and the Brachot of Kriyat Shema, David HaMelech described Hashem's activity in the creation, which is in two ways. He's the creator of nature and the creator of the laws of nature, and he's also the one who runs history. He's the God of history. He interacts with us in history, and it's very often through miracles. But it's nature and history. Those are the two things that David mixes. Sometimes it's so obvious he moves from one to the other without even any... And he's teaching us the one who is the creator of this is the one who runs this. And he's not schizophrenic, and there's not two of them. So there must be one God who runs both. He's the master of nature and the master of morality. Because history is a moral teaching. History is get it together. Understand why we're here. This is a school. Anyway, the Psukkah de Zimra revealed God in his universe. Or he's the poet who describes or sings praises to the Creator in his creation. Just to get kind of the essence of the Psalms that we're singing, them beautiful things there. And then we stand up and we say Vaybarach David, which is the last words that King David spoke, and he abstracts out for us the essence, qualities with which Hashem runs the universe. He's no longer just describing poetically. He's describing the qualities, the conceptual qualities that we can name and now understand the intellectual level behind it, the intellect as opposed to the emotional. He starts with the emotional and he goes to the intellect. And these are the ways that Hashem interacts with us. And then we go up into the astronomical world. We leave the gravitational field of the earth we go up in Yotzer Or, Borei Choshech, we'll say Shalom, Borei